Hi guys, it's Just Honest Fiction and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite Beauty and the Beast retellings. Alright guys, so when I was reorganizing my bookshelves, I realized that I have a ton of Beauty and the Beast retellings. Beauty and the Beast is one of my absolute favorite stories, so I wasn't too surprised, but I figured I'd make a video and discuss the 6 books that I have. I will be breaking this down by genre, so you can always check down the timestamps if you're looking for a specific type of book. And yeah, for those of you who are unfamiliar with my channel, I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. You can also hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I post new bookish content. You can also check out my Instagram. It is linked down in the description below. With that being said, let's get into this list. Alright, so the first book on this list I am just going to touch on just because if you're familiar with my channel, I have talked about this book so much. I have so many videos that I will leave linked in the cards in the description regarding this book and this series in general, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So this is a very loose Beauty and the Beast retelling, and we kind of lose the whole Beauty and the Beast vibe as the series progresses, but this first one is definitely Beauty and the Beast. So it follows Farah. And Farah is a girl who's living on the border of the human lands and the fairy lands. And one day she accidentally kills a fairy, mistaking it for a wolf, and a very angry fairy comes and takes her, whisks her off to the magical fairy lands in retribution for her killing his friend. And it goes from there. I love this series so much. And like I said, it is the first book, very reminiscent of Beauty and the Beast. You have Farah, who's stuck with this guy who actually has a beast form, so totally on brand, and I love it. It's so good. So please, if you have not read ACOTAR yet, please give it a try. I know it gets a lot of hate from some people, but I'm obsessed with this book and this series, so definitely check it out. Next up is a book I read last year and I loved it, and that is A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. So this follows Luella, and Luella lives in a village that every 50 or 100 years, a human girl is given over to the Elf King, and she's never seen again. And this kind of is what keeps the peace between the humans and the elves. Unfortunately, Luella is chosen to be the human queen, and she does not want to do it. So she meets the Elf King. He's very stoic and cold towards her, and she just wants to stay with her family. And on top of that, the throne that the human queen sits on seems to suck power and life energy from them. So the Elf King and the human queen, Luella, team up and they have to figure out how to break this curse. And it goes from there. I very much enjoyed this. I thought this was a very good time. It was a very quick read. And I just found out that the audiobook version is being released, I believe, in September. So if you're someone like me who really enjoys audiobooks, I would definitely check this out. And the next book on my list, I am sure those of you who are subscribed to my channel are so sick of me talking about. This is going to be one of the last videos, I promise, but I just really enjoyed this book, and that is For the Wolf by Hanna Whitten. So this follows 2 twin sisters, and the first one born was for the throne, and the second one was for the wolf. And we're following both perspectives. So the second born sister, Red, has to truck through this malevolent, dark, evil forest that is just trying to pretty much kill everyone that goes through it in order to get to the wolf, and then we don't exactly know what's supposed to go on from there. That is more of the Beauty and the Beast side of the story. We find out that the wolf is actually a man, and it is very interesting what happens. He teaches her how to use magic, and obviously a relationship kind of blossoms between the two. And then we're also following the other sister who is now ruling the kingdom and is just trying to get her sister back. I love this book so much. Please read it. I feel like it's getting a lot of mixed reviews. This, I think, kind of got marketed more for like NA, and it's definitely feels more adult fantasy. It has a very immersive setting, very cool magic system. There's politics going on, but there's also a very enjoyable relationship that you get to follow. So I think it has the best of both worlds. Please check this out. More people need to read it. I couldn't rave about it anymore. And the next book is actually a romance, not a fantasy romance, so a little out of my genre, but I've been reading a lot more romance lately, and it's actually a mafia romance. So you wouldn't expect Beauty and the Beast to fit into this, but it does. So Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark. This is part of the Brutal Birthright series. I'm now on book 4. I think there's 6. I'm loving this series so much. Look forward to that full series recap in my September wrap-up. But this particular one is the second book in the series. I think you can really read these as You could read this as a standalone. I wouldn't say you have to read the first book, but it kind of helps if you do, just because there are some characters that are referenced in the first book, but definitely you don't absolutely have to. But this follows Nikolai and Nessa. So Nessa is this very innocent, sweet girl, but her parents are part of the Irish mob, or like the rulers of the Irish mob. But she's been kind of secluded and doesn't really like do anything with the family business. Then there's Nikolai, who is part of the Polish mob, or the Polish mafia. And someone in Nessa's family killed his father figure, the current ruler of the Polish mafia, and to get retribution, he decides to kidnap Nessa. And obviously, things progress from there. A relationship starts to form, even though he's a kidnapper and she's kidnappee, the person being kidnapped. I will say, Beauty and the Beast retellings, when they're not based in fantasy, can have a bit of a Stockholm Syndrome vibe. So when I was reading this, some parts I was like, is she really falling for him, or is she just having some mental issues being taken from her family and forced with this one person? So I will say that it does feel a little Stockholm Syndrome-y, but overall, I really enjoyed this book. I flew through this one. This is probably one of my favorites in the entire Brutal Birthright series. So if you want a mafia romance that has some like Beauty and the Beast aspects, I would check this out. All right, I will say the next two books on this list are not really my favorites, but I think they are very good Beauty and the Beast retellings. So the first one is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This follows Anaskia? I think it's Anaskia. And her people end up giving a girl to the dragon in order to stop this dark wood from encroaching on their village, similar to a lot of the other stories I've mentioned. And Agnaskia meets the dragon. It turns out the dragon isn't actually a dragon, but a man. And they start to develop this relationship similar to For the Wolf. The dragon also teaches Agnaskia how to use magic and use the power that she has within her. And I think the setting was done very well. The only thing I didn't love about this book was the romance. It felt so not developed, but that is just my feelings. There are plenty of people that love it. Personally, I don't think I absolutely love Naomi Novik's relationships. I've read Spinning Silver by her also, and I did enjoy the book. I just don't love how she writes romance. But overall, if you want a Beauty and the Beast retelling that has that dark setting, I would check out Uprooted. And last up is another YA fantasy Beauty and the Beast retelling, and that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. This is a portal fantasy, so it follows a prince that has to repeat his 18th birthday every year, and he turns into this evil monster and kills everyone until he can find the love of his life. So he has a friend that uses a portal to go to different realms, one of them being Earth, or our world, to try to find a princess in order to break the curse, and they pick up our main character, and it goes from there. I didn't love this, unfortunately, and I'm actually kind of happy I didn't continue with it, only because a lot of people said the third book wasn't great. And I think the second book doesn't follow all of the same characters in this. There was a bit of a love triangle happening. I'm not really sure what happens with that. But if you want a Beauty and the Beast retelling with a love triangle, this is the book for you. I think that it did do a lot of things very well. I really did like the characters. I thought the characters were developed well. I just didn't love the relationship. And the setting was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of the writing. But overall, I think if you want a young adult, more adventure type Beauty and the Beast retelling, this is for you. All right, guys, that is it for my Beauty and the Beast retellings list. Please let me know in the comments, are there any Beauty and the Beast retellings that I did not mention that you think I would like? Leave them down below. I love Beauty and the Beast retellings, and I know there are more out there, and I need to read them. So I said this already, but I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I will see you all next week. Bye.